Was this
phenomenon, but it's just extremely common
I
where
think this
people
is the one where the reporter was held at gunpoint
will
and was like, "You want to be Charlie Kirk Jr."
immediately pass judgment on something based purely on just what the headline says. If it's only 10 words, that's the only 10 words they need to see in order for them to form their full opinion on it without knowing even a single iota of detail around it. And today, a buddy of mine sent me this. And before I read the headline, I thought
Oh
that
no.
picture there was
What?
just McLovin playing a new character or something.
Pet owner forced driver who killed his dog to dig dog's grave at gunpoint. Grave a gun. What? Who the fuck? Shoot you no for it.
Then I read the headline, pet owner forced driver who killed his dog to dig dog's grave at gunpoint. I should shoot you no for it.
That did not say at, that says a gunpoint.
And my friend sent this to me saying that it is sad that this guy is about to go to the slammer for a long time for this, most likely. Basically just sympathizing and saying that, pets are members of the family, so his reaction is like understandable. Hopefully he doesn't, have his whole life ruined because of this negligent driver who hit and killed his dog. It's entirely, the driver's fault. And I have dogs.
I mean, that is messy. That's a messy thing. Because, it's like murder. It all depends on the intent, will determine the type of murder you get charged with. But, if you can't get a hold of your animal, some people just shouldn't have animals. If you have a dog that's bigger than you, and you're fighting to control it, and it ends up dragging you, you don't deserve to have that dog. You can't control that animal, you don't need to be it. Because what if that animal gets a hold of somebody and kills them? I remember, and a lot of people are ignorant about this. There was a story of this girl who was there to babysit two dogs, right? And they were fine around the owner, but then they started eating her alive whenever the owner was left. The dogs ate this woman's face and most of her body. She was alive. And then the homeowner came back, and obviously there was a huge fucking problem. But you just don't know with these animals.
I love dogs.
Especially if you know they're aggressive.
Pets my whole life. I do treat them like members of the family. So it's easy to see a headline like this and get emotionally invested in it. And I saw a lot of YouTubers and stuff commented on it saying, based, he's done nothing wrong. Free this man right now. This is super rational and justifiable. So naturally I did what I thought was normal as the next step, reading the story. Because
Dude, so many people. It's going on so much right now on social media where people see a headline. They do that with my videos. They see the video title and they don't actually watch the video. They just comment. And it's like, dude, did you actually watch the fucking video?
I thought with so many people commenting on it with such strong condemnation
no,
of the
why would I do that? Well, it's part of the... It's are you dumb?
In support for Alberto Joshua Hernandez, this must be a pretty clear, open and shut case of the driver being fully in the wrong here. This guy must have just been a lunatic flying down the road.
These documents say that he forced the victim to dig a grave, withdraw
what actually happened here on the headline, because this guy's
from an ATM to compensate him and reveal a home address. Now, according to an arrest document obtained by our team here at KLTV and KTRE through an open records request, the victim went to police station for
incident took place September 8th when victim hit a dog while driving. Suspect allegedly pulled up behind him, forced him to pick up the dog at gunpoint. Victim allegedly forced the driver to an ATM withdraw money as compensation. Suspect charged with aggravated robbery. Bond set at $300.
Voluntary interview.
Not going to play too much from the news coverage of it because, again, I recently just had a big hoopla for showing a news clip. So I'll just show this very brief section. Walking the dog and it got away from him or anything, that's not how it reads here. Seems like the dog was completely unattended, just roaming free on the road.
Big surprise, the dog got hit. See, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about, man.
Willy-nilly. Alberto arrived pretty soon after the hit, it seems, and pulls the gun.
As far as I'm concerned, if you don't have a dog on a leash and you're like out and about in a public space and somebody calls the pound and they come in and to pick that dog up and the owner's there and they're like, "That's my dog." And then and the pound asks them if they have a leash or not. And if they say no and they're out in public, they should be required by law to pick that animal up.
On the driver and then orders him to carry the dog's body to his backyard. He takes his phone and everything, his keys. So
I have seen way too many animal attacks to sit there and be like, "No, it's okay." No.
There's no chance for him.
There are leash laws for a reason. Keep your goddamn animals on a leash. If you cannot control your animal while they're on a leash, you need to have a nuzzle.
To like escape or wiggle his way out of it. He then digs that grave. Alberto goes inside, grabs another gun, and then forces the driver to take both of them to an ATM to withdraw money
crazy.
Compensate for the dog. Alberto, after receiving the money from the driver after going to the ATM, then takes a picture of his driver's license and warns him that he might be hearing from him again for more compensation if he feels it wasn't.
Fuck that. It's a good thing he got the police.
Enough. And then
he went to the police.
Driver goes to the police.
Yeah, obviously.
That brings us to this story.
Exactly.
So, here's a nice little, write-up on it, the bullet points here from a Twitter user who broke it all down. To me, this sounds like a guy who found a convenient excuse to rob somebody.
I absolutely agree. That might not have even been his dog. Could have just been a dog that he saw got hit.
I don't see how anyone could make a sound argument that his robbing the guy and then threatening to rob him at a later date after getting all of his information is in line with a justifiable response to what seems to be purely an accident, where a dog that was not attended by Alberto or Alberto's mother, completely off-leash on its own, running out in the road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how anyone could say that Alberto's reaction to that
was sane.
Is rational.
No, it's crazy.
He's either a dog shit pet owner
he was a dog shit pet owner who obviously really didn't care about that animal and then had an excuse to hold somebody at gunpoint and rob somebody and thought he was going to get away with it.
Lets his animals roam around freely, or the dog unfortunately got out from the backyard or the front door or something and then ran off unattended into the road. And that kind of thing fucking sucks, but it is an accident. It doesn't sound like the driver is doing anything malicious or evil. It's not like the driver just drove off after hitting the dog like he didn't have a care in the world. He just puts it pedal to the metal like, yeah, celebrating, I just killed that dog. 2 thumbs up. Whoopee! Or anything like that. The driver did pull over after hitting the animal.
That's kind of the thing that should have given it away is owner held up at gunpoint. Well, doesn't that mean that he would have gotten out of his vehicle to be held up at gunpoint?
He pulled over. He got out. Apparently even tinkered with his bumper. And then I do think the timing is interesting how Alberto just happens to pull up at the scene here.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty soon after the animal got hit. Mm-hmm. That's so odd to me. Now,
he could have done it on purpose.
Another person that happened to arrive at the scene was the mother. According to the news report, the mom also arrived there and witnessed her son.
And she didn't call the police? Dude, I don't know, that's really suspicious.
The two then drove back, and the affidavit goes on to say that the victim's mother had come to the scene and parked near the victim's vehicle. She saw Hernandez with his rifle, according to documents. Police say that the video from the ATM shows the victim withdrawing the money and then handing it to a passenger who was holding a gun.
Something seems very fishy here to me. Now, it seems like they were still close to the residence here, considering that the driver was ordered to carry the dog back, so that leads me to believe he walked. Finished. Easy for them to kind of and unfortunate. And if something, so I can come back at a later date and get more. That would not be...
I mean, I don't understand how he thought that was gonna fly. I would have immediately went to the police after that. Why
something that would be going through my head in the grieving process. And I don't think it would for most...
No, I think that he probably did that on purpose. He probably let that dog out on purpose because he knew that he would run around in the street. They probably couldn't afford the dog anymore, and instead of giving it to a homeless shelter, they knew what would happen, just to rob somebody.
People. But...
maybe wasn't even their dog.
Get more insane every single day. So there are hundreds of posts just like this one with open support of Alberto Hernandez, even knowing full well about the robbery at gunpoint and the threat of more robberies in the future. Like this one says it's a warning to the lawless.
Remember what I was saying about the justification of anything? You can justify yourself to do anything. There's a reason why there are laws in place, boys.
Careless when society fails to protect innocent lives, dog, children, and decent citizens, Americans will take matters into their own hands. You fucking goober, it's his fault. That dog was roaming around completely alone, unattended, no leash, no nothing, in the middle of the fucking road. He's the one that failed to protect the innocent life of the dog.
Thank you so much, Charlie. He's absolutely right.
His failure. The driver unfortunately
like
hit the dog.
If a dog gets off a leash and runs over and bites somebody and gets put down, it's the owner's fault. Not just for not having a strong enough leash, but for not training that big-ass animal that could probably kill somebody. What no is. Like, just having a big-ass animal doesn't mean that... It's like having a kid. It's like having a child. If you have a child and you don't prepare that child for real life past the age of 18, you failed as a parent. If you have a dog and it runs out and bites somebody, I feel like your ability to purchase another dog and any dog you own should be taken away. Because you are too careless to own what is essentially a weapon. Like, you don't deserve to have rights to own an animal like that. You just don't. It's careless.
But did pull over.
And at a certain point, it's even malicious, because if you know your dog has a biting problem and you don't have them on a fucking leash,
leave the scene or anything. It wasn't lawless or careless or anything. He fucking pulled over and then stayed around and even like worked on his car there. A pit bull or something, which is extremely irresponsible. Like not leashing your dog around others, I think that is completely inexcusable.
I agree. There's a reason why there's a law against it.
And all of these people right now would agree. Yet in this case, they just plugged their ears to that piece of information about the dog being completely alone here to just roam the streets by itself. It doesn't matter to them now, because now the dog is unfortunately dead.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it ever mattered to them. They're the type of people that don't think that dogs need to be on leashes. I can almost promise you. Like, you go based on the assumption that these people ever had actual mental capacity to understand why the leash laws are in place. Like, that's your big mistake there, Charlie.
It means the dog owner must be totally within his right to rob at gunpoint and potentially rob further at later dates. The person,
in a way, that's kind of a form of blackmail as well. You killed my dog, so I'm gonna hang this over your head.
That was driving the car, whom I don't believe was fully responsible for this, because it seems like a fucking act.
It seems like both parties are at fault, but I'm gonna lean more towards the dog owner for not being more responsible.
Accident 100%. Where the dog being, again, alone, not under the care of the pet owner or anything.
100%.